Flipped, a professional development program for higher degree supervisors and students. Hello, my name is Tara Brabazon and welcome to this flipped training session, video for PhD students. I picked out 5 areas of video dissemination and distribution for your work that may provide a new way of thinking about your research, and indeed a new way of thinking about your profile. Visual media and visual interfaces are important, and let me tell you why. Our senses gather information: touch, taste, smell, hearing, vision. Visual media and visual modes of communication dominate other forms of sensory information. You know that old cliche, seeing is believing? Yeah. That means we lose or we decenter hearing, taste, smell, and even touch through screen cultures. There is an empire of the senses, to quote that great book by David Howes. Visuality is granted greater attention than other sign systems, and digitisation has only increased this dominance. We live amid screens and screen culture. Through formal schooling, we're taught visual literacy. We're taught how to read. Therefore, visual literacy is our most advanced literacy. Think about it. When did you learn to describe? When did you learn to analyse what you eat and what you taste? When did you learn to describe what you hear? But visual literacy is taught. It's taught through writing, it's taught through art, it's taught through media studies. It is important. Therefore, it is the commonsensical literacy in our culture. For doctoral students, there are specific gifts of visuality, particularly through YouTube. We have a free window into presentations and ideas from the best scholars in the world, and it's lowered the cost of creation and dissemination. This content creation and dissemination punches PhD student work out into the world, subverts academic hierarchies and power relationships, and that's a great thing. And then all that material can be posted onto an array of other social media sites like Facebook, like LinkedIn, like Twitter, X in particular. The tech is now really straightforward. A tripod, your mobile phone can do the job, or a really low-priced high-definition camera like the Zoom 8. And there's lots of options available, but a tripod, a Zoom camera and Movie Maker will really get you on your way. So let's talk about 5 options, 5 genres for the creation of video for you and for your research that you can do today at minimal cost for you to set up, and basically at no cost if you borrow the kit. So the 5 options I'm going to talk about are the video abstract, the video article, photo, story and digital storytelling, flipped teaching and training, and vlogging. To the first one, the video abstract. Now, as you know, we've done a whole flipped training on the video abstract. But if you are entering into the terrain of video, then the video abstract is really the best place to start to teach yourself about what's going on. Why? Because it's short. It's less than 5 minutes, and it's often less than 3 minutes. So you can learn the skills required to speak to a camera, to manage your voice, and deliver content without having a sustained engagement for a long period of time. So what is a video abstract? Well, it's the video equivalent of a written abstract. Yeah, right. It is, of course, an emerging genre, and it is being used by large corporate publishers. But you can do one for any of your journal articles. So what is it? It's shorter than 5 minutes, normally about 3 to 5. It provides an overview for viewers, prospective readers to hook into the article or paper. It's about speed, helping a viewer work out the purpose of the research and the results of the research. And it's a way to lift your citations really quickly. A 2014 study confirmed that while currently only 5% of publications have a video abstract, it lifts citations by 25 to 30%. So what you do and what you focus on in the video abstract is the rationale for the study. Why did you do it? Methods. How did you do it? Implications of the research. What does it mean? The goal is to connect your research with a reader. The key is to be clear about who the audience is for your research. Is the audience other academics? Are there other stakeholders in the general public? Remember, if you're writing translational research, you may want to use different video abstracts to link these different audiences. The audience for the piece will determine the vocabulary that you choose. So what are the best uses of video abstracts? Well, we see it for the natural sciences and engineering to explore visualisation of complex research projects. For the humanities and the social sciences, the applications of the research can be made clear. Video abstracts allow us to make our articles special and to lift them above the thousands of articles that appear each week. The best video abstracts introduce a written article but moves media to enlarge the audience. And a range of journals are now using video abstracts. Physics Education, the publishers Cell Press, and yes, they have their own YouTube channel. And let's just list the publishers that do this: Elsevier, Wiley, Dove Press, Emerald, We Share Science, and of course Taylor and Francis have a Vimeo channel. So if you just want to do a video abstract, where do you start? Well, start simple: camera, tripod, keep it simple, 2-3 minutes straight to camera, script it, do not speak off the cuff, and work out the structure. And the structure is: introduce yourself, state the title of the paper, present the most important bits of the information first. So what have you discovered, why we should care about it, and why those people should read your work. Don't bury the lead, put the big issue at the front. Can I also say a lot of conferences are now using video abstracts as well. I'm really interested in this. It's being used particularly in sport and exercise science. How great is this? So before you go to a conference or attend a session, you get a look at the research and decide whether or not to attend the session. Also, can I say, do short abstracts and introductions for keynote addresses. I do this quite frequently and load them up to my YouTube channel. So abstracts for journal articles, conference presentations and keynotes. It's a great way to start your PhD video journey. But let's look at something a little bit longer and more ambitious. 2, the video article. Now, I'm currently working on a video article, so this has been fascinating research for me to conduct for this flipped training on your behalf. They exist from the high humanities to the hard experimental sciences. There is no area or discipline that is unserviced by this emerging genre. But firstly, there is a genre, and you can best see this genre in the Video Journal of Machine Learning that allows researchers to present the key ideas of a paper that may be available elsewhere. So this is like a meta journal. So you may be interested in machine learning. See, all the great researchers talk about machine learning in a sharp and really succinct way. And if you're interested, then you follow that up. This is great. But the nested video article in and of itself is fascinating, and Elsevier is increasingly committed to it. And they justify this commitment in a really convincing way. They want the visual data sets to gain the emphasis they deserve and recognise the benefits of sharing research findings visually to increase the access to research. So these journals include the Journal of Minimally Invasive Gynecology, Fungal Genetics and Biology, and Urology Video Journal. These journals pass through refereeing. They're then reviewed in terms of form and content. Newer publishers are also moving into the space, including Jove, Jove. Jove describes their project as, quote, "We change the way science is done," end of quote. Well, there you go. They currently house at www.jove.com 10,187 video articles. For the lab-based sciences, the video article is part of reproducibility of experimental results. Researchers can follow your experiments, and this video article is changing the reporting of science. So what are the strengths of a video article? Well, figures and illustrations can be explored in an engaged and engaging way. Video and text can increase the dissemination options and widen out the audience for the research, and they're really easy to create. It builds outreach to other researchers, but also to government and the public whose taxes are actually paying for the research. Feedback is also much faster. There are disadvantages. They're really not different ways of presenting research. So often, unfortunately at the moment, the elements that are presented in the text article magically exist in the video article, and the raw data sets are not easily viewed. But for the presentation of methods and the delivery of outcomes and outputs, I think this is big. The changes for us as researchers are enormous, but for you as a researcher, Learning these skills now mean that you'll be ahead and you'll be part of this burgeoning genre. This is an exciting time. We are trialling new modes of research. So let's continue this video story with a whole series of other disciplines in number 3, and that is digital storytelling. Digital storytelling is a powerful and really beautiful combination of old and new media. It uses photography to tell stories, and photographs are put in a series, often with a voiceover from an academic or an accompanying soundtrack, and they're transformed into video. Digital storytelling videos are short, they're often under 5 minutes, and they start with an idea. Then photographs and images are ordered into a narrative. Then a voiceover is written, obviously mostly under 500 words. That script is recorded as an MP3 file, and some nifty software knits the photographs and the MP3 file together, and Photo Story is the best example of that software. And it melds the photographs in the order that you configure them in the video with your audio soundtrack accompanying it. It's a real DIY enterprise. Take the photographs yourself to avoid copyright issues, and academics at their best are storytellers. So how do we decide on our research area? How did we enter this field? What happened? Why does this research matter? So the narrative arc is evocatively captured through photo story and digital storytelling. 4, flipped teaching and research. Video is such a useful platform to experiment with because such a range of teaching and learning and professional development strategies emerge from it. So once we are comfortable with these differing modes of visual content and diverse lengths, then flipped learning and professional development is available to you. Flipped learning is a mode of instruction that delivers content, often online, outside of the classroom, like we're doing now, to be frank. But what happens is it then moves that content into an interactive, applicable activity that is in a live classroom or session. This is a student-focused strategy because the flipped video content is intense and sharply delivered, but it can fit into the timetable of the student. Then a face-to-face time can be better deployed, applying the ideas so that differentiated instruction is possible, and time can be spent in that face-to-face environment on higher order skills. So these video skills that you're gaining for your research, commencing with that video abstract, can be transferred into a teaching context, but also a training context. I know a lot of you are exploring consultancy opportunities for your future, so flipped professional development is going to be a big area. Producing video content that is watched before a session and then sharing an interactive session that creates spaces for application and collaboration. These videos, particularly when housed on a YouTube channel, can brand and sell your wares and can show what you can do. Remember, flipped teaching and learning, like what we're doing here, transforms all elements of teaching. This is not a matter of recording a lecture and then it's a flip magically. Instead, it's about really creating intense nuggets of content and then cascading that content into an array of scenarios, an array of collaborations and higher order commentaries. Remember to write the script carefully before recording these videos because they've got to be really tightly configured and intense. So flip videos are often about 10 to 15 minutes. So if you had a go at a video abstract and you've had a go at different modes of digital storytelling, this may be your next step or stage. And finally, 5, vlogging. Now, I've presented this flip training from the easiest option to the most difficult, starting with an abstract and then moving into increased levels of difficulty. And I did want to finish with vlogging, which is probably the easiest in some form, but also the most challenging in others. Vlogging is a video form of blogging, and blogging was the first form of social media in the 1990s, where people wrote short pieces or reflections without requiring editors or gatekeepers for their writing. They were free to express themselves in their own way and find an audience, or not. Vlogging is similar, a direct mode of expression, saying what you want to say, finding an audience or not. And blogs are of radically different lengths, and so are vlogs. The form fits the content. They can also be quite informal, a conversation between a researcher and their audience. So the genre is diverse in content and length, but informal. Now, PhD students also vlog, and why it's useful for you is it allows you to reflect on the process. The students that finish and finish quickly reflect on the process of their research and their enrolment. So blogging or vlogging or journaling are all great strategies to think about the PhD while you're doing the PhD. It's free. It's easy to set up a YouTube channel, get a camera, get a tripod, and talk about your thesis, talk about your research, talk about your teaching, talk about what it's like to do a PhD. And you will find an audience because PhD media are increasingly becoming a genre in social media more generally. And it is a way to disseminate your results quickly and receive feedback, but also share the experience of a PhD. Peer learning and communication with students around the world reduces the isolation and enables the completion. Video does not have to be a frightening platform or interface. Absolutely, you can move through an academic career and never record a video. But it is a great set of skills that prepares you for all sorts of media appearances and expert commentaries. It is always beneficial to learn these skills in your own way, in your own time and in your own space, and allow yourself to make a lot of mistakes, but to also enable different professional opportunities as your career progresses. And as you can see through our flipped session today, you can use photographs to create digital storytelling, short, sharp content for an abstract, or a much more intense and creative presentation of ideas through a video journal article. And you can also reflect on this whole process through a vlog. So why not trial a video for your research future? And I look forward to talking with you in our flipped seminar. Thank you for your time.